The angels, the multitude, are saying, peace be unto you. It's not a command. It's a request. It's a hope that peace would be with those, not just those shepherds, but with those people who would worship in the Cumberland Presbyterian Church in Russellville. There is a hope that peace will be among you, that peace will be in us, that there would be a different feeling among us. And we join those people who don't attend church, who could care less about church, in thinking about peace. Now then, the first angel, when he appeared, there was that sudden change. There was the drama. There was this startling appearance of the presence of God about these shepherds. You ever had that happen to you? Many of you have. Have you ever been in the presence of God? There had been a place, there's something happened where you could not define, but something that was so startling, something that was so over the top, if you will, that you knew you were in the presence of God. Maybe God said something to you, maybe God did something that you could see, but you knew the presence of God was there. How awesome would that be? How many times have I said, imagine that you're reading, if you're imagining you're reading the story, imagine yourself there, and you find something I remember that. I know what that felt. I know what God told me. I still remember how that felt to be in the presence of God. And so we find those shepherds have that same experience. However, it was multiplied by a multitude of hosts of angels, a bunch of them. And they were saying to the shepherds, share this message with everyone, that let peace be among you. If you could wrap peace, I guess I would want my present to be of peace. If I could ask for one thing, it wouldn't be for money, it wouldn't be for kind words, it wouldn't be for anything, maybe except peace. There are so many things in our lives that keep us from having true peace. I'm going to say, and you can certainly disagree with me if you would like, I'm going to say that it ain't happening. That there will not be peace, total peace for us while we live. I can pray for it, I can hope for it, I can try for it. And if I tried for it, would you agree that you would try for it? And if we would all agree that we would try for it, would all of Russellville try to be more at peace? If we could share that, then maybe with the country and the world? Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could all be at peace? It would make a great Coke commercial, but that's probably about it. You know what I'm saying? Boy, it'd be wonderful if peace would reign over. But we can't insist that the world be at peace. We can't insist that our local community can be at peace. We can't insist that our church be at peace. All we can do is us, that we each be at peace, and it's difficult. Most of you are not addicted to things, whatever, but there are a lot of people who are suffering, fighting addiction. I don't know if you know what that feels like. I don't know if you would say, I would resist something once a week that bothers me. I must be addicted. That's not addiction unless it's hourly. And sometimes, many times during each hour of the day. Imagine that thing that you know is not good for you, that thing that hurts your relationship with others, that hurts your relationship with God. Imagine that whatever you're addicted to goes through your mind, and you have to fight that hourly every day that you're awake, every day that you're alive. Imagine fighting that. I'm not talking about drugs. I'm talking about something. An addiction is an addiction, something that keeps you away from doing what you want to do, something that keeps you from having the relationship with God that you'd like to have, something that you focus on more than anything or anybody else. Fighting that hourly, you can't have peace. You can't have peace. Your mind can't share a feeling of peace plus an addiction. You can't. And so, that's one thing. look at our world, and there's not just local or state or country or it's worldwide. There's an anger. There's like a blanket anger that's spread all over the entire world. How are we going to be at peace when we're all angry at each other? How are countries going to be at peace when they're angry at each other? How are we going to ever have peace as long as there's that feeling of, I'm going to get you before you get me? And certainly, I'll get you because you got me. You got that coming. That's my free one. I'm going to do that. Yeah, we do that. So where's the peace in that? There can't be peace until we stop fighting. Anybody else addicted? Yeah, I'm addicted. I'm going to admit it. I'm addicted to the TV show Cops. Anybody else? Come on, I know you're here. It's okay. You're among friends. Most of us are. Thank you for not raising your hand, though. Tough crowd, man. I'm addicted to, so far, lately, for a few years now, I have not watched, but I will admit, I secretly, when I'm over there with my little iPad by myself and I have my earbuds, I can listen and watch cop shows and nobody knows what I'm watching. So I fought that addiction for a long time and it came back and now I quit fighting it. I'm just going with, I'm watching Cops, and so I feel better because I told you. One of the things that I always wanted to do, I'm just really revealing who the true pastor here. You didn't know this stuff about me. I always wondered what would happen if the canine officer turned the dog loose. The dog's always there. He's always barking, and I'm always saying, turn the dog loose. They won't do it, and the dog is barking, and the dog is like, this thing could be settled in about 5 seconds. Turn the dog loose, and they won't do it. They just hold on to the dog, and the dog is just rearing, and my goodness alive. This thing, the show could be shortened like 20 minutes. Turn the dog loose. Do any of you talk to your TV shows? Don't do that. That's a sign that you ain't right. They must have heard me because one of them turned the dog loose. It was the most awful thing I ever saw. I'll never again say turn the dog loose. It was bad. It was very, very bad. The perp, we call them perps. The perp was down on the ground. The dog had this perp. He was like a stuffed chew toy. Man, this guy, the guy was screaming, rightfully so. The dog was screaming, rightfully so. I was screaming, rightfully so. And the officer kept saying the dumbest thing ever, quit fighting. Yeah. Here's my arm, dog. Just chew it off. It's a nut right here. Just go ahead and take it on off and get a leg while you're at it. Yeah, I'll quit fighting. I'm not going to fight the dog anymore. And he kept saying, quit fighting with a dog like a 90-pound dog hanging on the end of his stub. Quit fighting. That ain't going to happen. Eventually, I guess it gets to the point, if you're being chewed on by the dog and the officer keeps screaming, quit fighting, okay, I'll take a chance. When he quit fighting, the dog quit fighting. Now, come on. Yeah, he did. I saw it. Now, ain't that something? That's like the 4th time I've used ain't. I'm sorry. I used my quota for like the next 3 Sundays. But however, I wanted to tell you, my point is, you already got my point. Quit fighting. Quit fighting. Jim, there's a dog hanging on the end of my arm, buddy. There are things that are not well with my bank account. There's worry that I have about my family. There are things that are going on around I can't quit fighting. I've got to keep struggling. I can't quit fighting. I can't turn loose. Maybe you have fought so long that you are so weary that finally you will say, okay, I'm done. I quit fighting. And just like that, the dog quits biting. Just like that, peace comes over you. I don't know what you're fighting, but I know probably most of us are fighting something. I am. But I can't find true peace until I turn loose. I know that. I know that. Will you join with me? Will you purpose with me that we will try, that we'll really try to quit fighting and see if maybe peace would prevail, that peace would soak into us. I don't know how you describe peace, but for me, it's like a calmness. There's that feeling that no matter what happens, everything is going to be okay. You know, Jesus, you've heard this before me. Jesus didn't say necessarily he would stop the storm, but he would be with us in the storm. The storms are probably pretty much going to keep happening. Doesn't mean that you can't be at peace, though, in that storm. So, God wanted me to tell you on this Christmas Eve, on this time before Christmas, that peace that he wished was not just for the shepherds, it was for you. It was you by name, whatever you are, whoever you are individually. It was for you. He sent the baby, and he sent peace with that baby. Praise God. Isn't this about the baby? Isn't this a wonderful time to be alive and experience what God is doing? So I hope that you'll take that with you, that'll be a part of your Christmas present from God to you.